Previously on The Sims 4 Big Brother.
Our final 4 Sims became our final 3 as one more was sent home due to our triple eviction week. Our house guests competed in an HOH competition where slowly, one by one, house guests were eliminated over an arcade game that has been there in the house this whole time. Eventually, it came down to our final 2, Rashida and Bob. And Bob managed to win his first competition and secured his fate for final 3. However, Bob's nominations came with a price, as there was no power veto for this round of the triple eviction, and Rashida and Mark found themselves up on the chopping block with no way to save themselves. Zoe had the most responsibility as the sole vote for who was evicted. And out of the 2, Zoe chose to evict her ex-showmance, Mark, and Mark was sent to the jury house. Now we are down to our final 3, and all 3 of them are going to begin a 3-part HOH to determine who will be the last HOH and who will pick to sit beside them in the final 2. Who's going to get there? Find out tonight on The Sims 4 Big Brother. Hi all my beanie weenies, and welcome back to The Sims 4 Big Brother US Season 2 finale! Woo! What a mouthful, but can you believe it? Our final 3 house guests have made it to the big boss level of this game. This week will consist of a 3-part HOH battle, and that starts immediately tonight. So all of our Sims are going to head upstairs to the new task room and compete in the first part of the HOH. Now once again, this is a 3-part HOH, so the winner of part 1 will automatically move forward into part 3. Meanwhile, the 2 losers of today's competition will compete in part 2 to see which one of them competes against the winner in part 3. Does that all make sense? It's a bit convoluted and confusing, but we're just going to get right into it and start part 1 of this HOH competition. And this one is the brains competition. And we have that cube block game that we've had in the house all season long. However, this time we'll have to see which one of the 3 contestants left practiced the most throughout their time in the house. We have Bob, Zoe, and Rashida all in their little games, and they're all competing individually. And this is actually an endurance competition, as the person that competes the longest will win this part of the HOH. And so far, the 2 girls do not look too happy about competing today. Zoe is suffering from a pretty bad migraine, while Rashida is not only sore, but also in a crabby mood. However, Bob over there in the corner seems to be doing just fine on his own. Now, I have seen many sim creators playing this type of competition, but using different rules, such as what color blocks they're picking if they're jumping and avoiding, all that kind of stuff. And I think I've done, a variation of roles in the past. However, I thought an endurance competition would just be the easiest so far. And it seems as though we might be having a clear winner in the lead with Bob so far if the two girls do not hurry up and change their attitude. But of course, you never really know what to expect with these Sims. It only takes one of them to get hungry or have to pee in order to quit, and that could come from anyone. Now in this 3-part HOH, we will be doing brains, brawn, and beauty. And this is of course our brain part of the competition. And it could also be partially brawn as well, since a lot of this is movement, jumping, grabbing, and doing this for the longest. It kind of counts for both. And I love that this is something that's been in the house the whole time. I feel like out of the 3, I've seen Bob use this game the most, but all of them have had weeks on weeks to practice, and if they only paid attention more, it would have given them such a huge advantage in the final HOH. However, it looks as though Rashida and Zoe have quit the competition. Rashida seems to be a little hungry and having to use the bathroom, and Zoe has to use the bathroom as well. And even though Bob has to do the same, he managed to outlast both of our 2 girls and is the winner of part 1 of the final HOH. So Bob will automatically be moving on to part 3. However, there is still a part 2 in order to decide who he will be competing against, Rashida or Zoe. I am going to give the house guests a little bit of a break to grab some food, use the bathroom, get their needs situated, and then we will be moving forward to round 2 of the HOH. One huge advantage of there only being 3 contestants left is that the bathroom is finally up for grabs. There isn't 16 house guests all, lining up to use the one toilet. And I have unlocked the HOH room for everyone, so 3 Sims splitting 2 toilets is finally an even match. And I don't think we're going to have anyone peeing themselves this late into the game, I hope. Anyway, it looks as though Rashida has managed to focus on making some food rather than using the bathroom, as the other 2 toilets have been occupied. And she's still in a sour mood. Hopefully, after they all kind of boost their needs up, Zoe and Rashida will be in a good mood to compete in part 2, our bronze portion of the competition. Or are they both going to be going into the competition moody like they did for part 1? We'll have to wait and see and find out. But Bob right now is enjoying the luxuries of the HOH room, as he doesn't have to compete tonight and he can just sit back and relax and wait for part 3. Zoe, however, decides that she's going to need a little bit of a boost for part 2. So she brews some coffee, eats some cereal, and tries to regain as much energy as she can. However, this is not the time to relax. This is the big boss level. And with this big of a house and this few Sims, it just wouldn't really be that fun. They'd all be hanging out individually, trying to get some alone time, and I don't want any of that. So instead, we're going to gather everyone into the living room, and we're going to get part 2 of the HOH started. But of course, it wouldn't be The Sims without having some difficulty getting them all to sit down, even if it's only 3 of them. But whatever. Okay, like I've said before, Bob, since you won part 1, you will not be competing in part 2. Instead, this is going to be ladies' night, and Zoe and Rashida, the two of you can head into the backyard and upstairs into the balcony area, where that foosball table that's been there all season long. Well, if you've been practicing, then you have an advantage, because the two of you will be competing in a foosball tournament. The two of you will compete, and the winner will move forward and compete in part 3 against Bob. Alright, so both of you pick a side, get a ball, and begin playing now. Now, again, I love that this has been here all season long, and that they could have clearly, been gaining a skill point, practicing throughout the season. We have seen a few games go down, but I kind of felt like this was one of the least popular things played in the backyard. But the two of them now are going to have to compete against each other, and only one girl is going to make it into part 3. Me, personally, I'm not that good at foosball. I don't think I would have been practicing that much. I get confused about which one to spin. I don't have that great hand-eye coordination. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Air hockey, on the other hand, I could probably do that. But even with air hockey, I'm always afraid I'm going to hit my fingers on the puck. So, I don't know. It's just not my thing. I think I probably would have had a better chance at part 1. But this part 2, I'm not too sure about. Now, it does look as though Rashida wins this round 1 of this foosball game, but come to find out, there's actually a ton of rounds. Okay, I don't know if I did that or what, but for some reason I feel like all of these competitions heading towards the finals have become so long. Like, I don't know, the competitions have always felt pretty long this season especially, and I feel like that's been my biggest learning curve during season 2. I mean, season 1 of Big Brother US was just kind of figuring everything out, figuring out how to get the contestants in there, how to build a house, how to format everything, edit everything. It was my first ever series here on the channel. And this season was like fine-tuning everything, adding CC, having a bigger theme, having like, no one related to Big Brother and not using clips and stuff like that. And it had a lot of challenges with the games, and I kind of saw that with this part 2 actually. Right now it looks as though they're both tied. It looks as though Rashida won first and then Zoe won. So right now they both have 1 point each, but I really didn't expect it to last this long. And also, while filming these final 3 competitions, I realized I left out a ton of stuff that are traditionally Big Brother. I didn't have a Zing bot for once, and I totally could have. I didn't do OTEV. I could have done a bunch of other fun Big Brother related competitions, and I was too distracted with doing other stuff, related to The Sims and exploring new packs that were being released. And so because of that, I feel like I definitely have to do a season 3 of Big Brother US. I have to have a Zing bot and everything else in order to feel like I've really done this series justice. That being said, there's about 50 of you Beanie Weenies that have watched every single video of this series so far, and to you guys, I cannot be more thankful. I have finally reached the 500 subscriber count. Yes, it has been going up and down, but we have gotten to 500, and I cannot be more pleased. Thank you so much, and also I want to hear from you guys. I have loved all of your comments so far, but speaking of a season 3 of Big Brother US, what would you like to see? What theme would you be interested in? What kind of twist? What kind of cast? Would you like to submit a cast like we're doing with Big Brother UK? Like, what are your ideas for another season of Big Brother US? Leave all of that down below in the comments.
Woo! Hello!
I also want to know what your favorite competition of the season was so far, who your favorite Sims were, what your favorite win was, your favorite week twist, all that kind of stuff. Just please give me a full-on Yelp review down below. And if you didn't like any of it, let me know that as well. I really care about your guys' opinions, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to listen to them. Alright, now back on to the game at hand, and our girls are focused. I did think that maybe they would end up quitting, having to use the bathroom, maybe they didn't fulfill their needs in the short amount of time that I gave them, but so far they have been completely focused on the game at hand, and I don't really know who is going to win at the end. Both of them have been really great at the game so far. Of course, Rashida, when it comes to her storyline, has had a much bigger storyline in the game. However, Zoe also got into a lot of drama. She had 2 showmances, she made a really huge move in the end, but she hasn't won as many comps as Rashida has. So winning this would actually mean a lot more for Zoe. But when it comes to Rashida, I think along the way she's made a few enemies as well. So maybe getting that safety would actually help secure her fully in a place at the final 2. But both of them are neck and neck at this competition right now. They're pretty much going back and forth, one getting a point, the other getting another point, the other getting another point, the other getting another point, and they have a really close game. Do I know the exact score? No, not right now, because it doesn't really give you live updates, and I've been blabbing my mouth too much to really focus on who is scoring what, but so far I know that it's close. Alright, we are getting closer and closer to the end of this round of the HOH, and this is our penultimate competition. After this, they only have one more chance to earn a win for their resume that can help them win it all at the end, and just like that, we actually have a winner. It does look as though Rashida has won, but of course, I did make sure to check in the little moodlets to see, and she did in fact win part 2 of the competition. So, congratulations Rashida, but you have won the brawn part. And you will be competing against Bob Pancakes and part 3 of the HOH. Now, I will say that whoever wins this final HOH does get to pick who sits beside them in the final 2. And then our jury will all be reunited to pick which one becomes the winner. Stay tuned, as part 3 will be in the next episode that I'm going to try to be posted this week. And then next week we will have our final jury moment. All of them are going to come back, reunite, and vote for the winner. It's all going to be over. And then we only have a couple more weeks, and then we have Big Brother UK. It is a stacked couple of weeks here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, all that stupid fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!